I'm Peter Begalla from Family Business Magazine. I'm joined today with Charlie Carr from EY's Family Office Advisory Services. Today our topic is family meetings, the importance of family meetings, the key components of a good family meeting, and kind of the benefits. What's the payoff for meeting on a regular basis with family members and family shareholders? So with that as a backdrop, what are you seeing as the way that a family meeting gets started?
Generally, you're starting as soon as the prior year's meeting has ended. You're now getting ready for next year because it takes close to a year to get these ready. So typically you'll appoint a couple of family members to be lead on preparing for next year's. 2 to 3 are going to drive it. Family counsel's generally responsible for the overall process. But that small group that's there, they want to make sure they're soliciting input from all of the family. So getting input from each generation, each family branch, make sure you get everybody involved. Everybody needs to feel a voice out there as they start planning, what are we going to talk about next year? Where are we going to do the meeting at? Because not every family, but many of them will change the location each year. What speakers we're going to have as they start planning all of that.
It sounds complex, especially if you open it up for, ideas and invitation to contribute, who's going to do what and where. But if you have 2 or 3 members driving it, does that make it a little bit faster?
Well, it's still going to take you a year, but it does actually improve the process. Somebody needs to be on point, and that's what's really happening.
Good. So what are some of the key elements? What goes into that agenda? What are you seeing families do on a consistent basis?
Well, the first thing you're doing is you're trying to build cohesion and unity among the family members. So we want to make sure that we're recounting what's happened in the family in the past. What's the history? And you're going to go through an entire history of the family. It's certainly not every event. I usually encourage them to go find 1 or 2 key stories that maybe everybody doesn't know about. Go back and you from the founder of the family or a generation or 2 earlier, have them come out and recount something that's happened. You're building that unity, the history, helping them realize where they came from, because you're trying to communicate values. You're trying to pass those values down. So that's the first piece of this. You always have educational elements. Wealthy families have a stewardship of the wealth. Most of them will say, we're not here to just spend money. We're here to steward this wealth for future generations. So you want to educate them. What does it mean to be a steward? How do they handle the finances? That's part of what the family meetings are about, is that kind of educational. You also are going to have communication about the family business. So you're going to have somebody, maybe it's the head of the company or somebody else that's going to come in and give you an update on where the family business is at, or in many cases, family business is, multiple ones. What are they doing? How are the finances going? What's the strategy? Where do you want to go with those businesses? So you're going to have that element of it. You're going to be communicating what's going on with the family members too. So what's happening with each branch, because that's part of building that unity and cohesion.
Right. And so we have values, we have education, we have a business update. What about the fun element? These families, they're not just there for the dry, P&L report, right?
Well, if it's a dry P&L report, they're not going to come back next year. Okay. So the fun element is twofold. One is you're going to plan some fun activities. So let's do that. Let's draw them in. You're using that as the teaser to get them to come. You're also going to make sure that every person who speaks is an engaging, interactive speaker. If the person's dry, a monotone, don't let them speak. Don't give them the microphone. Get them out.
Okay. So the fun element in terms of, is it like wild adventures? Is it, an easy volleyball match? What are you seeing families do in terms of games and just kind of activities to stay connected?
It's a wide variety. Most of the articles that you see in magazines will talk about the wild adventures, right, the extreme sports, and we're going, cross-country skiing or whatever it might be, the extreme activities. Most of what I see when I work with family members are far tamer. Croquet match, it's a wiffle ball game, it's flag football. It's something like that that's tamer, because families are widespread. I've got 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, I've got 70-year-olds. How do we get them all involved? And it's hard to do that if it's an extreme sport. So when you're doing something tamer, if you're playing croquet, everybody can compete and have fun together.
Right. So there's some themes that I've heard in each one of these, is that it's very inclusive from the agenda to the fun, right? And to the games. And it's values and stories and legacy, right? And stories of the family. But it's really also engagement, structuring everything so that people can contribute to the conversation, that it's not a one-way dialogue. It's not a one-way report. It's a back and forth kind of conversation about the legacy, the values, educational topics, even the fun, and even the agenda setting is an engagement process.
That's right, because it's really all about building that family cohesion, that family unity. And so the more engaging, the more interactive, the more we're going to build that unity.
Okay, good. Well, Thank you for joining us today. Charlie and I are digging into a whole host of family business topics. Please check out our whole series. Thank you so much.